My nemesis just got appointed to city council.
I don't care. I'm going to start the meeting. I'm sure Bruce will be here any second.
There he is.
There he is. So we're going to have to do a verbal roll call.
Yes, since Vice President LaHue is remote.
Oh, I see. So welcome and call the meeting to order. Announce that Tom LaHue is doing this remotely and it was properly noticed. And please, everybody speak into the microphones. They seem better today. Please do the roll call.
Vice President LaHue,
I am here.
Director Balboni,
I am here.
Director Jaffe,
Here.
Director Christensen, and President Lather.
Here. So to start with, are there any agenda adjustments? And the board may elect to combine agenda items, consider items out of order, remove agenda items, request discussion on consent items, or delay discussion on agenda items. Do we need to move Rochelle's item up or no? Okay. Any comments from the public? There's no public at the moment, unless there's someone online. So
I have no changes.
I don't think the public online can comment.
We don't have public online, just
they can comment.
We don't have them online, so gotcha.
Okay, so then we'll move on to public comment. It's the same situation. There's nobody from the public to speak on something that's not on the agenda, and there's no one online, so we will move on to the next item, which is consent items. Once again, request public comment, but there is no public present at the moment, so we will move on, and I will ask if there's a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, so
That is, I'll second.
Bruce Jaffe made the motion. Carla Christensen seconded. Can you please do a roll call?
Vice President LaHue,
Yes.
Director Balboni,
Aye.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
Director Christensen,
Yes.
and President Lather.
Yes. So we're on to the next item, which is reports. Is District Council online?
Yes.
I am.
Oh,
Thank you, President Lather. I actually don't have a verbal report this evening. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll move on to business items. Item 6.1 is approved scope of work for Brown and Caldwell to continue program management and support services related to Pure Water SoCal. Is there any public comment, right, first, or is after the presentation? Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm going through these bullet points. We've created a new format for helping get through the agenda. So can we have the staff presentation from Cameron Costigan-Mumper? Oh, there you are.
I'm here. I don't have an actual presentation, so I'll just walk through the memo a little bit and hit some of the key topics in there. So agenda item 6.1, it's requesting the authorization of a not-to-exceed amendment to Brown and Caldwell's base contract in the amount of roughly $1.4 million. Purpose of this amendment is to cover the expected costs associated with Brown and Caldwell providing programmatic support for the Pure Water SoCal project, primarily around project closeout activities at the Advanced Water Purification Facility, as well as support for potential redesign work for the tertiary treatment facility. That's located at the Santa Cruz Wastewater Treatment Facility. Well, the previous amendment, Amendment number 3, was intended to carry the program through these activities. Regulatory, construction, and other project delays associated with system startup and commissioning activities have extended the project's timeline. And while we anticipate project closeout of the advanced water purification facility to be completed by the end of this year, there is still a performance issue with the tertiary treatment facility that we will need Brown and Caldwell's support to work through as well. For a little bit of context around that tertiary treatment facility, during startup and commissioning activities earlier this year, the design builder encountered some significant performance issues with the system component that could not be resolved at the time, and ultimately led to that system being placed in standby mode in February. The district is currently working through these problems with the design builder and Brown and Caldwell supporting that effort. And we're working towards a solution for the deficiencies that were identified during that period. The amendment that we're putting here today is intended to cover the costs of what I would consider to be a worst case scenario where major redesign work may be required, which according to our estimates could take us to the end of 2026 potentially. In addition, the Water Resources Department right now is short-staffed and running a little lean due to some foreseen and unforeseen leaves within the department itself. And Brown and Caldwell's project support through this period will allow the Water Resources Department to balance the demands from the Pure Water SoCal project with those of the department as a whole. So, in summary, the Pure Water SoCal project is really at a critical transition point from primarily construction-related work to startup and commissioning and project closeout activities of the various project components. And due to the scheduled delays caused by numerous factors, some of which are out of the district's control, the overall project timeline has been extended. And close oversight of the remaining activities by Brown and Caldwell is essential in promoting a successful project closeout with minimal interruptions. On a slightly more positive note, I'm pleased to inform the board that on June 4th, we had what in my opinion was a very successful inspection of the advanced water purification facility by the Division of Drinking Water. Members of the local regional board were also present for that inspection. And the primary goals of that inspection were to simulate alarms to demonstrate how the system would respond to protect public health, and also demonstrate the contract operator's competency in operating the system and responding to those alarms. At the end of that inspection, DDW did not identify any major deficiencies in the system that they felt would jeopardize public health. They were very impressed by and complimentary of the project team, which included key players from Black & Veatch, Trestle Technologies, Jacobs, Brown and Caldwell, and the district. And we're expecting their letter of approval to begin injection of purified water really in a minute now. And this is really another major project milestone for this critical project. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any public comments? There is no public present and none online, so we can move to the board. Christensen? Talk into your mic, please.
I don't even have it on. I'm curious, this is the first I've heard about the problems with the tertiary treatment plant over near the lagoon, right? And isn't that the feed water for our plant, our Pure Water SoCal plant?
That's actually a separate system that's intended, it uses the same source water that the advanced water purification facility does. But that system will actually scalp off a small portion of that source water. So it doesn't, in other words, it doesn't go through that system before it comes to the advanced water purification facility.
So is that end of next year? That's really major. Okay, so that was my major question. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but this is kind of like the wrap up, and it sounds like there's a couple of details that need wrapping up.
That's correct. Yeah, the majority of the focus for closeout is going to be on the advanced water purification facility at that time. But we, in Brown and Caldwell, are needed to support those activities, and then we're also going to need them to support the work on the TTF as well.
Yes. Thank you, Cameron. I understand that cloth filtration system hasn't been in regular operation since February. And I'm wondering that, I know the systems are sensitive to extended downtime, things like biofilm degradation or formation, media degradation, mechanical component wear, et cetera. And I was wondering if there's like a maintenance or a preservation plan developed by Brown and Caldwell or by the district during non-operational periods. And I'd wonder and just appreciate any insight into how that was accounted for.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. There was a plan that was put together. It was actually put together by the design builders since they are still under, that system is still under their care and custody. It hasn't gone through all of the testing phases yet. And so it was basically put into like a standby mode. When they were developing that plan, the district and Brown and Caldwell had an opportunity to review it and to provide comments on it. But as of now, that system has been placed into a standby mode, and there's assurances that in that mode, they'll be able to, it's not going to irreparably damage the equipment that's out there currently.
I would just add, while the system was put in kind of a standby mode since February, it wasn't just the factors related to performance. The design builder also chose to schedule how they wanted to address it, and their staffing and some of their scheduling prioritized the AWPF. And so that there's, some additional reasons as to the scheduling and why we are addressing the tertiary facility now so that we could go forward with the startup testing and commissioning of the AWPF, which Cameron mentioned has occurred successfully since June, and now their attention is back onto the tertiary facility. The outcome of the project is still to meet and maintain and or exceed the water quality requirements to be permitted as has part of the permit that we've received. It's a combination of meeting the performance criteria and the yield and other factors that the design builder has within their contract.
Any other questions?
I just wanted, I had raised my hand, but I guess you can't really see it. I was just gonna, thank everyone, Melanie and the whole team in getting us to the point where we got a successful, really good inspection by the State Department of Drinking Water. So we're almost there. That finish line is getting closer, even though it keeps moving. But we're almost there. So thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Bruce?
I was also going to congratulate the team on getting to this point. So at this, was it June 6th, you said?
That was June 4th.
June 4th. So it was DDW, and then you said the regional Water Quality Control Board. Is that who it was?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so that's for Central California.
That's correct.
Okay. So as I recall, the tertiary treatment at Santa Cruz actually was my preferred location for that, but Santa Cruz, there were problems with footprint, and Santa Cruz wanted to keep space available in case they went to tertiary water treatment in a big way, say for direct potable reuse. So we moved away from that, but this is still a remnant that there's an agreement that we have with them that we'll have a tertiary treatment there. And that's part of the agreement for us getting the wastewater for the purification process. Is that correct? Because it is kind of strange that, so we're basically on the hook for a plant that's no longer part of our stream for the advanced water purification.
Yes, it was part of the Pure Water SoCal program. It was to produce up to 1,500 acre-feet a year of purified water, as well as 300 acre-feet per year of tertiary treated water. And that water would be used for in-plant wash water and then also non-potable uses around the facility, the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, yeah, so it was basically a buy-in to be able to use the plant and to use the wastewater.
Yeah, that was part of the City of Santa Cruz and Soquel Creek Water District's interagency agreement for the source water and then the land and the facilities to be located down there.
And are we also will maintain that tertiary treatment facility?
There is an O&M agreement, and Cameron can elaborate after I talk a little bit on this one, because you're, I think, working more closely with the City of Santa Cruz. But there is an O&M agreement with the City of Santa Cruz. So the design of the operations of Pure Water SoCal is for the City of Santa Cruz to operate the facilities down at the wastewater treatment plant. We will be paying them a portion of that O&M if it's associated with the advanced water purification. It feeds up that system. And then if it's related to the non-potable, that is paid for by the City of Santa Cruz staff.
Okay.
And then, of course, we would pay for Jacobs.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Now, on to my sticker shock. It's a lot of money. And the basic question, is there anything that can be cut from this?
It is a lot. What we had done when we put together this proposal on the scope of work was we had assumed that the tertiary treatment facility would require some major design work, and that makes up a big component of the overall budget in this amendment. It is a not to exceed amount that we put in there. So we will use Brown and Caldwell's time as wisely as possible to get us to project closeout at the AWPF, and also to ensure that whatever solution is agreed upon for the TTF, that it's done so in a way that maximizes budget and minimizes expenditures. So I don't know at this time if there's a better way for me to revise that scope of work, because I don't want to run afoul of something happening with the tertiary treatment facility. And
no, it seems prudent to have a larger scope, and then if components aren't necessary to call it down from there. But part of what also got my spidey senses up on a budget, besides the hourly rate, which I assume is standard for the consultants, there's meetings, and one I didn't understand, weekly tribe meetings through December 2026. Necessary, and I don't even know what a weekly tribe meeting is.
That's just our program team. It's where district staff and Brown and Caldwell meet to go over program management as well as project activities.
Okay, it's just the name.
Yeah, it's usually technically where we'll have sometimes construction management staff, district staff, O&M oversight or input, especially during startup. So again, those are as needed. If we decide that we don't need that many meetings, Cameron will reduce the frequency. And again, I think a lot of this at this point is identified as a potential amount, as we narrow in on the pathway for the tertiary facility, it could be something small like an operational solution, an operational solution paired with maybe some additional equipment, maybe operational plus chemical addition. Those are some of the things that the engineering teams are working together with Brown and Caldwell and the design builder. And then it also goes into the next layer of who is responsible for some of these design modifications and whether
Yeah,
or not
that's what I was going to ask.
yeah, so there is a lot layered into this, and I think that the contract, as well as district staff and Brown and Caldwell, are keeping that top of mind as we go forward with the solution of ensuring we're appropriately assigning the risk and responsibility.
Okay. And again, our customers will appreciate any cost savings we can do, but what needs to be done, obviously. But another thing going through the budget, and it's a trivial thing, but it's something I actually understand, rental cars. In the budget, rental car / mileage, there's $150 a day for a rental car. Don't want somebody on a Ferrari on the district's dime. But I guess that's the game, right? You put in the number and then you do a not to exceed and don't reach it. But, I've rented hundreds of cars. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration. Dozens of cars, and the only ones that are up around 150 are like sports cars. So, hopefully, let Brown and Caldwell know we're not going to pay for sports car rentals.
I will.
Trivial, but
We do try to maintain meetings remotely when possible, and some of their staff is local, and so that is a way for us to minimize cost.
all right. So that's all I had. And, we're a small agency, so we don't have the in-house expertise to pull this off without skilled consultants. So it's a necessary evil. And again, congratulations on getting this far. And hopefully in the very near future, there'll be water going into the ground.
Thank you so much for your feedback.
The other thing that I think you didn't mention was this qualifies for WIFIA, right? It does. So that's the other part, is this kind of expense qualifies for the low interest funding.
So what that means, basically, we'll pay for it over 30 years. With you loan.
Right,
Yeah.
with very low interest.
No, it's a good thing. Rather than having to pay this amount right now, it'll be paid over 30 years with very low interest. Yeah.
So,
Would you clarify when you talked about the backwash, using TTF water for a backwash? Is it for our plant or for
No,
near lagoon?
it's actually the water that's produced from that TTF facility can be used as wash water within the Santa Cruz wastewater treatment facility itself in lieu of using potable water.
Thanks. I kind of remember that when I went through it, but it was so that was just something the way you said it. Got confused again.
It's probably me.
okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion. This is necessary.
Second? I can second. So we have a motion and a second.
Vice President LaHue,
Yes.
Director Balboni,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
Director Christensen,
Yes.
and President Lather.
Yes. Okay, so now we can move on to the next item, which is the new online agenda meeting portal. request staff presentation. It's going to be Emma Western.
Yeah, so let me share my screen 1 second. Oh, we need yours to pull up the Zoom, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so everyone can see the website on the screen. So I just was going to take a few minutes to walk through the new agenda portal that we launched on June 5th. And we brought an informational item regarding this earlier in the year, I believe in February. So it's officially launched as of June 5th. And as you know, we did this as an effort to streamline putting agendas together, board packets and minutes, and it helps our documents be more compliant and also gives more standardization when writing these. So let me turn this so I get my mic. All right. This is our homepage of our website. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. So I just want to start from the beginning and show you where you would go. So I have a purple mouse. We have our board meetings and agendas button here. And then also under district info at the top, we have our board meetings and agendas link. So I will click here, and this takes us to our new portal. And everything being shared on the new portal is the same as our old system. It just looks slightly different in format. So I'll just take a few minutes to walk through this page and how it looks and show some features that are now available. So when we get here, as you can see, it automatically goes to the most current meeting date, which is June 17th. We also have a calendar over here on the left-hand side where you could click on the meeting date that you're interested in. There is a from date range and a to date range to help filter your search on the left bar over here. Under event categories, you can switch between board of directors and public advisory committee if that's what you're interested in. And there's also a search bar where you could search for keywords and phrases, and that would search our agendas and pull the relevant ones up for you. I'd just like to point out here at the top that any agendas and meeting materials prior to January 1st, 2025 are available in our archived agenda center. And that is exactly, I'll just open it in a new tab. You can see. It takes you to our old portal. So everything is still available and online, but starting on January 1st, 2025, we have it in this new portal. The other thing I'll just highlight is there's a subscriptions button here, and this is what the public uses to receive agenda notices. So clicking on June 17th, 2025 takes you to, oh look, I've been scrolling around. I'll go back to the top. Takes you to our agenda and our agenda packet, and I'll talk about other in a minute here. Let's see. So let's just talk about what some of these features are. On the left-hand tab, there's essentially a bunch of different ways you can view the agenda packet, whatever you prefer. So you can go to meeting overview here on the left, and this is an accessible format where you can scroll through and click on the items you're interested in. You can also go to meeting files, which is the view I personally prefer. And then you go to your agenda packet, and over here on the left is where your bookmarks are, and you can tab through the item reports on the agenda. The other view that can be kind of handy is by clicking on this binder, and you can decide if you want to look at, the tabs and let's see, let's go back to it. The tabs with drop downs, and you can click through here. These bookmarks in this gray column are the same as the ones over here on the left, so it's just really a matter of preference. You can jump through the agenda packet here using the numbers. And then you can also change the zoom. So if you wanted to have something more zoomed in, or super zoomed in, or fit to the actual size. So now we'll talk about some of the new features, which are super handy. If you're reviewing the packet in the system, there is a highlight tool. So you can highlight text. You can add text to the page, and you can also draw. And so if you were reviewing the agenda, you could take notes, and then you would hit this download button, and it would save a copy of your agenda with all your notes on it. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk
Or
about.
does it save it to your own computer?
It does, yeah.
Does it give you a choice where to save it
Yeah,
to then?
yeah. So it'll download a local copy, and then you can save that where you want to.
On an
Okay.
iPad, where does it save it to?
That's a
I
good.
tried finding it. I tried saving it on the iPad.
I haven't used an iPad yet, but maybe
Okay,
we can
later we can talk.
take a peek. Yeah. Oh, and then let's talk about some of these other tabs. So the other category will include the written correspondence that was addressed to the board. Let's pop back out here to show you another meeting where we have minutes and a video. Let's go to January 25th. So here, this is anything prior to the launch of the website. You'll still see this old cover page. That's not going to be there moving forward. But you can see that there's a minutes tab because the minutes have been uploaded for this meeting. And then popping back out here, you can see that this little film icon would take you to the YouTube meeting recording. So it's essentially all the same information. It's probably going to be a little bit of a learning curve figuring out where it all is on the new website. But it is, I think, accessible, and it's the hope is that it sort of streamlines the process for staff, both behind the scenes and then also front facing.
I think the public will, it's multiple ways to get to things, so that's great.
No, it looks fantastic, especially the search capability.
Yeah, if you wanted to see, we tested this out earlier, so we can search transparency. So I searched transparency, and it automatically pulled the item tonight with it highlighted, which is super handy. So you can click on it, and then it takes you right to the item report. So happy to hear any feedback, answer any questions, but we just wanted to show you what is now on our website.
Thank you, Emma.
No, it's great.
That's going to be an improvement as soon as they figure it out.
I used it to review for today's meeting to get prepared. And the previous website, I had to go through a couple of different clicks before I could find the right agenda page. And I didn't complain about it because I knew we were coming up with this. And this is a lot more streamlined in that respect.
Great. Thank you.
So a couple of questions. One is, if we take notes, that's just there for us and then we download it, or is that kept somewhere on the server? I mean, is it public when somebody's accessing that and taking notes?
It's not accessible to anyone in the back end of the system or the website as a user.
Okay.
I'll let Josh weigh in as to whether those notes are a public record, but in terms of
Interesting.
Using the system, they're not stored.
I am interested in what Josh says.
There he is.
And I apologize. Let me discuss with Emma offline so I better understand the system, and then we
Okay,
can
okay.
provide a response on that.
And a simple question, there's a sign-in tab. So what is Does that open up additional capabilities, or what is that for?
That's mostly for subscriptions. So if the board isn't subscribed the same way public members are, because I email you when an agenda is prepared, but you could create an account and subscribe and also receive an automated notice from the system.
Okay, thanks. The way I try and find things from previous meetings is I have saved all the PDFs of the previous meetings and then do searches on those files. And that's what this does. So I don't have to do that anymore. That's great.
Yeah, I'm working on a system too that has indexing and so on, but that one works the same way. But actually, this transferred into that, it doesn't work. So they're talking two different languages.
I neglected to ask for public comment, but there is no public to comment. And, well, I don't think they're going to comment on this. But if you want to, let me know. And I take it there's nobody online.
I don't think we allow people to be online.
Yep, people are online
We
for our
just,
meetings.
in terms of online, they can watch it on YouTube. They're not able to comment. And then if they are on like this, they're usually associated as a presenter of an item. So they're a consultant or staff, and then either a board member if they're attending remotely, or Josh, legal counsel, attending remotely.
Yeah, other boards that I've been on do allow that.
In the past, we did. When we were remote meetings, I remember that.
Yeah.
That public could, during COVID, yeah.
Well, then I am wrong. Yeah, because I know other boards do that still. They didn't stop. Okay, so is there a motion? Does somebody want to make a motion to approve this?
I don't think we need to.
It's just
It's just information.
Okay.
Just informational.
Okay, it's
I approve
not
it.
on my thing. You're supposed to tell me it's informational.
Very, very good work. I couldn't have.
I didn't think
Job.
it was a motion, but I was given instructions that say that.
Oh, okay. I'll follow up, Emma, on what the iPad does, and
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how it looks because I haven't used that yet.
okay.
Okay, and the next item is informational too. So the next item is receive a presentation from California Special District Association for a Transparency Certificate of Excellence. Hi, Rochelle.
I can't hear anyone.
Oh, wow. Oh, there we go. Okay, should
That
I
could be
go
better,
ahead and
thanks.
start again? So, because you didn't hear me or? Okay, all right. So good evening, Soquel Creek Water District Board of Directors and district staff. My name is Rochelle Naroyan, and I'm the Public Affairs Field Coordinator for the California Special Districts Association. We're also known as CSDA. CSDA is the voice of special districts in Sacramento and in local communities throughout California. We advocate on behalf of special districts through the legislative process in Sacramento, and we also provide professional development services and training as well. There are over 2,200 special districts in California, like yourselves, providing a variety of services that are vital for our local communities. And I'm here today to present the District Transparency Certificate of Excellence. This certificate is part of the Special District Leadership Foundation's programs that highlights and focuses on implementation of best practices for special districts. The District Transparency Certificate was created in 2013 to promote transparency in the operation and governance of special districts to the public and to provide special districts with an opportunity to show their dedication to transparency and open government. To receive the transparency certificate, there are subject areas that districts must study and complete to receive the certificate. There's more detail than what I'm about to give, but these are sort of the higher level subject areas that you need to study to get the certificate. So there's the basic transparency requirements, which include current ethics training certificates for all board members and timely filing of the state controller's special district financial transactions and compensation reports. So the second area are website requirements. It was great that your presentation was right before I came up to present this certificate. It includes posting the board meeting schedules, district's mission statement, current audit and budget information, and the board of directors roster with terms of office on the district's website. And the third area are outreach requirements, which districts must select 2 of the 3 options to fulfill. And I believe Soquel Creek Water District has actually fulfilled all 3 of the requirements. So this includes having a regular district newsletter, annual information, annual information. I got my pages mixed up here. So annual presentation, here we go, a public budget hearings and a community transparency review, which I believe you do all of those, which is great. So I am pleased to report that the Soquel Creek Water District has completed all requirements with flying colors. The community outreach section of your website, which I took some time to look at earlier today, is a great demonstration to show the community the multiple ways in which you engage with people in the community with your educational programs, your offer to do tours of your facilities, and then the fact that whenever I go out in the community and there's a wonderful community event like a business fair or Earth Day, you have a booth there. And I always walk away with some great information and wonderful water saving devices for my personal home. So I'm not ashamed to take the wonderful things that your districts hand out to people. So on behalf of the Special District Leadership Foundation, I'm very pleased to be able to present the District Transparency Distinction Certificate to the Soquel Creek Water District. And I was wondering if I could have Rochelle and Melanie come over and we could take a picture with the certificate, if I may. Oh, okay, great.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'll be good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You'll Photoshop me in, of course, right?
Well, yeah.
I think
Just kidding.
Maybe you can send a picture for next time and we'll hold it up.
I think one of the things that I'm really proud of the district is that we were the first special district in the county to receive the Transparency Award. And at that time, it was, they gave a big sticker. We had it on our, the front door. And I remember, I think it was Scotts Valley Water District came once for a meeting and they're like, what is that? And so, you know, I think we started a chain reaction, and it's great for all of the special districts, I think, to strive for that and create some standardization. And it was at a great time too when we were updating the website. So I know Emma is really great about making sure that we maintain it. It is something that we renew every 3 years now. Previously, I think it was like 2 years, so there's like some weird cycle. But thank you, Emma, for all your work on that.
Okay, the next item is closed session, but I do not believe we have a closed session today. Is that correct? Oh, okay. So I know, I was looking at the time going, wow, I get to go home. So there's nobody from the public here to provide public comments. So we're going to ask public members that aren't here to exit and confirm that the video's turned off.
Tom and Josh, Melanie will call you on her phone.
That's what I figured. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.